Hey guys, going to do something now that I've not done before. I just got a message for the first message ever from this Robinson009 saying, please tell me how I lost this game. And I'm intrigued. So I thought we'd take a look and do a surgery, if we can, on this game. Now it's 48 moves long. Robinson has the black pieces, and we start with d4, d5, and knight comes out, bishop comes out, so it's like we're playing almost like a reversed accelerated London here. Bishop comes out, okay, so this could also be a London from white. E6. Okay, and now c5, so good. Yeah, I like to see this. This is very typical against the London. You want to break open this pyramid, knock the top of the pyramid straight away. Obviously, pawn takes, bishop takes would be poor. That would be very much like the French defense. Here, that's what you want with the French. You always play c5 nearly, hoping that if white captures on there, you recapture with your bishop, you've got free development, and you've got the pawn center. But white's having none of it. And now bishop e7, bishop to here. Okay, this is very, very common again in the London, this face-off of bishops. So there's a couple of ideas. One is, you've seen like Magnus do, allow the bishop to capture and then actually recapture with the e-pawn, which is interesting. The more common move is to drop the bishop back down to g6, okay? And then if white decides to initiate the exchange, you recapture with the h-pawn, thereby freeing up this file for your rook, okay? Now in this instance, black initiates the exchange, and I think that's inaccurate. Because if you look at it, right, from here, okay, black to move, white has 1, 2, 3 pieces out on the board, black has 2 pieces out on the board, okay? Now this is normal, okay? White starts the game with the initiative, starts the game with the first move. Black moves second. Okay, so now with it being black's turn, black could play knight out or queen out or whatever, and we'd have 3 pieces on each side developed. Okay, now look what happens next. Black uses his turn to capture, white captures. Now it's black's turn again. Okay, we were 3-2. Now we are, let's do it that way, 3-1. Okay, so with that exchange, by initiating that exchange, allowing white to recapture with development, black has now actually taken a step back in development himself. So we have c4, just kind of annoying the queen. Queen moves back, knight to c6, knight out, b5. Now lots of pawn moves going on here. I would also advise getting the knight out, getting the king castled short for sure. Also, there's lots of pawns on light squares here, which is pretty good for these bishops, but it's good for both sides' bishops. Okay, so nothing serious yet. We're on move 10. Another pawn move. Okay, so you can kind of see what black's doing. Black's kind of squeezing up the space here, trying to squeeze out this queen and take options away from white. Okay, so now we have a break in the middle, in the center from white, and here black now proposes the trade of bishops. Now again, you can see if white takes, black recaptures with development. Okay, so what do we have? We have white takes. Both players have actually made the same inaccuracy here. Okay, rook comes across in line with the king. Now finally the knight decides to develop, but I see a problem straight away. I see this. Comes with a fork on the knight and the queen. So before that, black should have captured the pawn, I reckon. Yeah. This is just walking into a fork. Pawn's protected by its neighbor. Yep, that's played. Knight is lost. Okay, so first blood to white now. Now black decides to trade knights. I can kind of see why, because what black really wants to do is castle, putting his rook on here, but then the knight's going to come in with a fork on queen and rook. Okay, rook takes. I quite like that move actually. Now rook to f1. Huh. Don't know about that. I think e1 would have been kind of more obvious because lining up the rooks on the same file, and then thinking maybe about f4, f5, trying to break open using the queen as well. This knight is currently not great. This knight needs to be improved. Okay, queen drops back. But why? Okay, f4, here comes the pawn break. And now, if you look, if f5 is played, this pawn can't capture because it's pinned on the queen. f6, hitting the rook. Rook retreats. b4, okay. Okay, so this is good. Adding a second defender to this pawn. It's attacked twice, defended twice. Knight's now starting to reroute itself, come round. Now the pawn comes down as a third attacker. So here goes, takes, rook takes, doesn't really work. Okay, so white has been able to put more attackers against that pawn than black can manage defenders. I think one option here could have been, hang on no, so it takes, yeah, I don't think king f2 would necessarily work because pawn takes, rook takes, queen takes, rook takes queen, king takes rook. We've traded the queen for two rooks, I think is basically how it works out. So here queen moves away. So I think that could have been playable actually. Rook, and again, black is down in material. Black is down a piece. You shouldn't be looking for equal trades when you're down in material. And now here he offers another trade. Okay, nice using the king. A lot of people forget to use the king. And black's just traded off all his pieces. So now it's a king and his friend against the king. So you shouldn't do that. Okay. Trade in. Now this is difficult because now the king can't proceed. Ooh. But that undefends this guy, so now pawn can take and he's got a clear run to the line, yeah? Pawn takes. Pawn's starting to dash down. King defends. Yeah, it's all gone horribly wrong. Okay, here, white should play the king to here first, right? You generally want your king 1 or 2 or 3 steps in front of these pawns that are trying to promote. Okay? I mean, this is kind of safe anyway, because so let's say, yeah, pawn, yeah, this is kind of safe for black, but in general, you want your king here, and then the pawn is protected all the way down. Okay, so there we go, and check. White here at checkmate in 1, and then finds it. Okay, so why did we lose this game? Let's review. Okay, so the first time I'd never seen it before. Right, this is the first inaccuracy or mistake. I haven't done the analysis, but I think it's a mistake because we go from 3 pieces for white, 2 pieces for black, to 3 for white, 1 for black. Okay, so we just lost development there. Pushing against the queen. I think actually here, something like b6 would be fine. Again, you can allow your opponent to capture him. Then so he's captured to the outside, you capture towards the center. Yeah? So initiating exchanges is like, a lot of people at lower levels have this itchy trigger finger. It's like, I can't handle the tension of these pawns looking at each other. I have to do something, right? Quite a few pawn moves, delaying castling. And here white makes the same error, I think. Knight out finally, but this is a blunder. I mean, it's simply a blunder because it walks into the pawn fork. And so what you need to do here is go, okay, I want to develop my knight. Can I come out here? Don't drop it. Is there anything? What would my opponent do if I drop this piece here? Oh, pawn. Yeah, right. So then maybe I'll think, okay, let me put my knight here. Might come here and stuff like that, you see. So that, I think, is really all it comes down to. You know, it's tactics that lose the games, and then later on, black voluntarily trades off all his material. So the way I talk about this is like there's a fight in the schoolyard, 5 boys against 6 boys, yeah, and then if both sides lose 4 players, right, it's not 5 against 6, it's 2 on 1, and that's a huge difference, and that's what black did here, right? So here black has got the king and 5 protectors, white has got the king and 5 protectors. Okay, so it's kind of equal. But then after this, black goes down a piece, right? But then proceeds to trade off. Now here, I think a good option could have been g takes. We have queen takes, but g takes, you see, opens up a file towards the king, which could have then, you stick a rook on there, you get the king out of trouble, double up your rooks. It's an attacking idea. You've got to have an attacking idea. If I'm going to win this game by hook or by crook, what has to happen? So I think in this case, yeah, I'd have probably have given up ideas of castling, open up the G file, and go about business that way. But yeah, you don't want to be trading off. When you're down in material, avoid trades. Very simple one. So yeah, blunder to lose the knight, and then followed up by oversimplification, right? Simplification generally benefits the player that has the material superiority, and that in this case was white. So that's, quite honestly, mate, I think that's how you lost the game. So thanks for the question, thanks for submitting it. Hope it's been useful. See you soon.